Welcome back, guys, to Mozarsky Memos Season 2, or I'm going to rebrand it and call it Jake Takes. Just better. I am in Charlotte, North Carolina now as an editorial intern at the Sporting News. It's been a great few weeks so far. You can check out my TikTok for the short form content, but I wanted to get longer form stuff out there too. Radio is something I'm really passionate about, or just like this longer form stuff. We are going to be talking about New York football today. And to start it off, I'll start with this. I am upset. Now, there are multiple reasons why I'm upset, especially after watching what went down with both the New York Giants and New York Jets yesterday. But I also have a microphone, and this microphone does not plug into my computer, so the audio is probably a little messed up. I'll fix that for episode 2. More reasons I'm upset. Yeah, I'm a New York Jets fan. We'll start with the Jets right off here, losing 30-10 to the Buffalo Bills. The Giants lose 40-37 to the Dallas Cowboys in a potential game of the year. Time to get into it. Number one reason I'm upset is the New York Jets. For years and years and years, every time you take one step forward, you take two steps back, and that's exactly what happened with the New York Jets on Sunday afternoon. They scored 32 points in the season opener against a good defense in the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then against the Buffalo Bills, a defense that gave up 40 points. I understand it's the Baltimore Ravens, but gave up 40 points, has a young secondary, banged up without Taron Johnson, banged up in the middle without Ed Oliver. They scored 10. And if I read you this stat line at the start of the day, that Josh Allen, the reigning NFL MVP, would go 14 for 25 with 148 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, a rating of 73, you would take that 100 times out of 100, and the New York Jets would win the game. Josh Allen has struggled at MetLife Stadium, didn't change yesterday. But it didn't matter because of what Buffalo was able to do on the ground, rushing for over 220 yards on 43 attempts. James Cook leading the way, 21 carries, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was absolutely incredible yesterday. But, look, I understand. James Cook is an elite running back. The Jets' rushing defense hasn't been the same since 2023. That frustrates me. The Jets' defense is really frustrating. That's a topic in itself, and I could get to that after. The New York Jets did what bad football teams do, and what they did in 2022 in the back half, 2023, and 2024. They found ways to lose football games, and they did it in week 1 too. In week 1, they were up 9 points at the start of the fourth quarter, or even going 2 minutes left in the third quarter after Justin Fields gets that QB sneak to put the Jets up 26-17. First play, Aaron Rodgers pitches to Caleb Johnson. Johnson gets to the left sideline. Quincy Williams with a boneheaded hit out of bounds. That is one of your all-pro linebackers. He's one all-pro in 2023, a Pro Bowler. Williams is a top 15 linebacker in the league, and he makes a boneheaded play. Pittsburgh goes on to score on that drive. Then, all you have to do is not fumble the kick return, and the Jets have been dominating Pittsburgh, absolutely dominating them, over and over and over again throughout the game. And then you'll be able to run some time off, even 2 minutes. Xavier Gibson fumbles the kickoff. The guy who led the league in fumbles, 10 fumbles throughout his career, fumbles the kickoff, Pittsburgh scores. Entirely different game. And then the Jets, in most situations, they don't go back down the field and score, but that's exactly what the Jets did. And on 4th and 1, Justin Fields bootleg called himself, and he scored. Then what happens? Aaron Rodgers leads a game-winning drive. He didn't do that once for the Jets. And it's not because of the situation he had here. The Jets' defense was bad in week 1. And then you get to week 2. In week 2, Jets lose 30-10. They were embarrassed. Embarrassed. And it started on the first series. It really did. I mean, you start with Justin Fields' inaccurate throw to Garrett Wilson on the dig route, or the big in. I mean, look, it happens. Fields has never been accurate. The Jets defense then, against Josh Allen, Allen gets a really nice rushing play, gets the Bills into opponent territory, but the Jets are able to get them to a 3rd and 19. And then Michael Clemens with a roughing the passer penalty on 3rd and 19. You could have stopped Buffalo. They could have kicked a field goal, or they could have missed a field goal. A 3rd and 19, and you rough the passer. And Michael Clemens is a repeat offender. Last year against Buffalo, he started a fight in both games. Michael Clemens, he's branded for his toughness. That's what the coaches say about him. But he makes irresponsible play after irresponsible play. And then he makes that play. Aaron Glenn's irate on the sideline, as he should be. Buffalo goes down and scores. Momentum is totally on Buffalo's side, and what happens to the Jets' first offensive play after that? Fields fumbles, Bills score again, it's 10-0. And then you're playing the Buffalo Bills from behind, which is never a good thing. But this goes back to Bad football teams find ways to lose games. And the New York Jets have not made the playoffs for 14 years. They find ways to lose games. They led the NFL and blown fourth quarter leads in 2024. They blew a fourth quarter lead already in 2025. And yesterday against the Buffalo Bills, got demolished 30-10. And I genuinely don't think the score should be that bad. And I genuinely don't think the Jets passing defense was bad yesterday. I mean, they held Josh Allen on the ground. In the air, rather. But the Bills were able to just run. But it's hard when you dig a hole for yourself with that Clemens penalty. It's hard when Fields fumbles, makes it a two-possession game, and it's hard when the offense wasn't good because, in plain honesty, yeah, the Jets' offense was not good yesterday. Fields completed 3 passes in 3.5 quarters. He had a 1.1 QBR. Garrett Wilson only had 4 catches for 50 yards, 3 of those coming from Tyrod Taylor. Next for leading receivers, Breece Hall. You look at this Jets offense that ran for over 200 yards against the Steelers, a better defensive front, in my opinion, with TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Cam Hayward. That's really good. Yeah, yesterday they ran for half that. Their leading rusher was Fields, and Fields got that because of that 25-yard run at the end of the first half. Breece Hall, 10 for 29. Braylon Allen, you know the Bills are missing a premier defensive tackle in Ed Oliver. Give it to your 6'3 running back who runs it up the middle really well. 2 carries yesterday. This goes down to Aaron Glenn, it goes down to the coaching staff, and it goes down to the New York Jets finding ways to win football games because from the first whistle and the first play where Breece Hall was stuffed at the line of scrimmage to the Jets having that roughing the passer penalty, to Buffalo scoring, to Fields fumbling, to making it 10-0, and then you're playing from behind, what are you supposed to do? Because the Jets defense got the stops they needed to. They got the stops on Josh Allen that the Ravens didn't, and the Ravens have a really good defense. They have stars at every front. You're talking about Roquan Smith. You're talking about Ojabo. You're talking about Kyle Hamilton or Marlon Humphrey. And they couldn't stop him. The Jets stopped Josh Allen, but it didn't matter because of a stupid penalty and because they were in their own position and when Fields fumbled. That is a completely different game. That's the game right there. And that is the most frustrating thing. And now, again, the Jets are 0-2. Like always. I mean, they did start 1-1 last year. They were 1-1 the year before, but you know what I mean. And the season feels like it's lost a little. I'm not saying it is. I still have faith in Justin Fields, but then again, he might not even play next weekend. And I still have faith in a bunch of these guys. I still have faith in Aaron Glenn. But yesterday was a typical Jets way to lose a football game. And they found ways to lose. And I'm not taking credit away from Buffalo. They were great, especially on the ground. James Cook continues to prove he's one of the better running backs in the NFL. The Jets found a way to lose. And the offense reverted to one of the worst in the NFL, which a lot of people expected. And they didn't go to the game plan, and stupid penalties over and over and over again broke them. And now the Jets advanced to 0-2, and they are facing a very well-coached Tampa Bay team in Tampa Bay next week. And it's not a must-win because the bar's not high for New York. It's not high at all. But you got to start racking wins together or else you're going to be playing meaningless games come mid-October. And, again, Jets fans are so sick of that, really. And then you look on the other side, you're talking about a football team that on offense did everything it could have done to win the game, and they still lost the game. And Connor Hughes, SNY's reporter, said it best for the Giants, bad teams find ways to win football games. And I just talked about it with the Jets. The Giants took a 37-34 lead in Dallas with less than 30 seconds remaining, and they still found a way to lose. The Giants' defense was horrendous yesterday. Horrendous. And you are talking about a team that you're talking about Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and Dexter Lawrence on the defensive line against a Cowboys offensive line that lost Tyler Guyton and is okay. 3 sacks on the day. The Giants' secondary was gross. I still don't understand why the Giants were playing that blanket coverage when it was 37-34. Prescott was able to hit Jake Ferguson up the seam, and then you see what happens. Brandon Aubrey can nail it. The Giants, I'm not saying press there because, yeah, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, they could beat you over, but they found a way to lose a football game. And Russell Wilson was absolutely incredible yesterday. 30 for 41, 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. 2 of those touchdowns to Malik Neighbors, 9 receptions, 167, 2 touchdowns on the day. He's an absolute monster. But it doesn't matter if you don't play this complimentary football. And the New York Giants, look at week 1. They held Jaden Daniels to a respectable thing. The defense played well. They didn't get to Daniels that much, but Daniels is one of the most mobile quarterbacks in the league, but the offense scored 6 points. This is a complete different story, right? You scored 37 and you still lose to Dallas. And, yeah, why do you score 37? Look, Dallas's defense isn't good, but the Giants had an upgrade at the quarterback position, whether it's Russell Wilson, whether it's Jackson Dart, whether it is Jameis Winston at some point in the season. That's better than what Daniel Jones was giving them last year. Now, my biggest concern with the Giants is I don't think they could put up 30 plus every week. I think they let a game get away from them. They haven't won in Dallas since 2016, and they should have won yesterday. But they didn't. They found a way to lose again. And then they couldn't do anything in overtime. The Giants are not built to be one of the better offenses in the league. You don't know what Russell Wilson's going to do. You're facing a very, very, very good Chiefs defense on Sunday Night Football, a desperate Kansas City team that's 0-2. Yeah, you're staring at 0-3. And then you face a Chargers defense that gave Patrick Mahomes struggles. That might be 0-4. And then you get New Orleans. So when are the Giants getting their first win? Offensively, I don't think it's sustainable to put up 30 plus. If they could put up 20 plus, they could stay in the game, but not if the defense looks like that. No defense could give up 40 points in the NFL and expect to win the game. The Jets gave up 34 week one. You couldn't win the game. The Jets offense, they punted once in week one. It didn't matter because the defense wasn't good. Both of these teams have struggled. It was literally polar opposites week one and week two. You're talking about week one, Jets scored 32 points. The defense was horrendous. Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns, you lose 34-32. The Giants score 6 points. Doesn't matter what the defense does. You're not winning with 6 points. You get to week two, Jets, stupid mistakes, get them in a deficit. But if you score 10 points against Josh Allen and the Bills, you're not winning the game. And then the Giants score 37. Doesn't matter because the defense gave up 40. And so, Brian Daboll and Aaron Glenn, where are your answers going to come? Because right now, both of your teams are 0-2. Both of your teams are not favored next week or the week after even maybe. And you could be 0-3, 0-4, and then you're playing meaningless football, right? The Jets are not winning the AFC East. The Giants are not winning the NFC East. And I was never going to come on here and say that. But you want to be playing meaningful football. Brian Daboll and Joe Shane, if you're not playing meaningful football, you are out after this year. Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji, I understand it's a culture year, but you need to take a step forward from the Jets being uncompetitive for long periods of football, which they were under Robert Saleh, which they were under Jeff Ulbrich, which they were under Todd Bowles, Adam Gase, all these guys. You have to make a difference. And so, yeah, change for both these teams. Because yesterday, both showed how they are bad organizations that found a way to lose, and solutions need to come. Thanks so much for listening to Jake Takes Episode 1 of Mozarsky Memos Season 2. Please like and subscribe if you liked what you saw. I'm going to do some college football, some baseball, obviously NFL. Yeah, let's get into it. Really excited to be back.